This is an experimental stop motion horror movie with no dialogue that was produced over 30 years. And it's awesome. Mad God came out in 2021 and is written, produced, and directed by Phil Tippett. And for those of you who don't know, Phil Tippett is a visual effects god in Hollywood. He's worked on the Star Wars franchise and even Jurassic Park. So going into this movie, my expectations of the visuals were pretty high because this is his passion project. He spent a long time on the shelf. It was even funded by Kickstarter and only released on Shudder. But he was so dedicated to it for so long that he made sure that this movie was made. I just want to give you a brief overview of the plot and not really get into it too much because the less you know, the better. But Mad God follows this nameless, faceless assassin who descends into this mutated underworld to complete a mission. Of course, there's a lot more going on here, but the beauty of Mad God is that it lets you figure it out. Now, because there's no dialogue, almost everything here rests on the visuals and the sound design. The creature design is some of the most innovative and fleshed out that I've ever seen, and more than that, this sort of mutated underworld feels like a living, breathing organism itself. So it really feels like you're in there. So, having said that, because this movie is constructed in such a way, it might not be for everyone. It's pretty easy to sort of zone out when there's no dialogue to kind of keep you keyed in. But if you just take the time out and let the plot unfold, it's one of the most rewarding experiences a movie can give you. And what makes this movie special is that you can feel the love and the passion that goes into every frame. Every pixel is so thoughtfully curated and put on screen that you're consistently just wowed by what's happening in front of you. But it's not just all about the visuals, right? I mentioned just a little bit about the plot, but this is really a movie about how humanity is doomed to behave a certain way over and over again. It's poignant and it really makes you think, but it's also, it takes a little while getting there, which is why, again, I say this is not a movie for everyone because you have to piece everything together. You have to figure out what it is that Mad God is trying to tell you. You and I might walk away from this movie with completely different understandings of what just happened. And that's kind of beautiful if you think about it. How often can a movie relay multiple messages in an experimental medium without any dialogue? That's what makes Mad God special. When I watched it, I realized that going into this, thinking about it as a movie is a disservice to what it is. Thinking of it as an experience completely changes how you view this film. If you want to watch a movie that will give you visuals that will probably never leave you, some of them are nightmarish and pretty bloody, but they're still beautiful. And you want to see a true passion project come to life from one of the most respected men in Hollywood who's responsible for giving us some of the most iconic imagery in our most beloved franchises, then you should give Mad God a chance. Just stick with it, and if it's not for you, that's okay. But if it is, you're in for something special. My name's Akshay, and this is Funky Movie Reviews, where I talk about relatively unknown movies that need to be seen by more people. Whether it's an indie, a movie that never made it to a larger market, or a foreign language film that more audiences need to see, I will watch it and I will talk about it. So, if you want your taste in movies to be a little funky, like, comment, share, subscribe.